Well, we're here today in a Revive Our Hearts recording day. We've got women in the room. We've got others joining us by Facebook Live. And I wanted to take a moment to update our friends and ministry partners on a need that I've been sharing throughout the month of May, a significant financial need that we've been facing. And I wanted you to see how the Lord is providing and how you can pray with us as we come into this last week of May. Just a brief recap, if you haven't heard this shared, we've been telling people explaining that donations to the ministry have been lower than anticipated over the past several months. And that shortfall, coupled with other expenses for this month, resulted in a month of May need of $830,000. Now, that sounds large to you. That sounds really large to me. It is really large to us. It would be the most we've ever needed in a month of May ever in our 15-year history. So we've been praying, we've been seeking the Lord, and our fiscal year ends on Wednesday, May 31st, and where we stand at that point significantly impacts the type and the scope of ministry that we can engage in the coming fiscal year. And over these past months, I don't want you to think that we've been spending money we don't have. We've been drawing from reserve funds that are set aside for the summer months when income is typically a bit lower. So we need to replace those reserves, and that's a simple way of explaining what our administrative staff understand in much greater detail. So our prayer has been and continues to be that the Lord would make up the shortfall and cover our May expenses so that we don't have to make significant cuts in existing outreaches or delay pursuing some new amazing opportunities that He's putting before us. This has been a time of great encouragement. God is at work around the world. The opportunities are amazing. The testimonies coming in are so encouraging. And at the same time, we're saying, where do we need to cut back so that we can be within the range of God's provision? And God has been answering our prayers. As of today, just over 70% of the $830,000 needed in May has been received. And I've been watching this day after day. There have been thousands of individuals and couples who have participated in this provision. And each one of them, many of you in this room, has been a direct answer to our prayers. Those gifts have been so timely. And I've been encouraged to see so many people getting behind this burden with us and to hear of some of the special stories behind people's gifts. I know there are a lot of special stories that I'm not aware of, but I love it. For example, just 2 days ago, we received an email from a woman in Germany who said, I want to give to help fill in this gap, this financial gap. She says, I appreciate the radio programs. I listen to them as often as I can. And then she tells how she was thrilled to meet one of our ambassadors who lives in Germany at a conference last month in Hamburg, Germany. And she said, that was really special because I would love to see women in Europe getting the type of spiritual nourishment that you are providing through this ministry. She said, I already had it in my heart to support the ministry, but I was waiting for the Lord's provision. I love this kind of story. She said, I have a small sewing business and sell a few items a month, sometimes less. Today, a lady bought 4 ! Of my table runners that had been sitting in my drawer for a while. So I felt this was the Lord providing for me to give the money to Revive Our Hearts. She said, thanks for your help and the precious programs. May God continue to bless you richly. Well, I am so, so grateful for each person who has participated, some in small amounts, some in larger amounts, but all of that the Lord takes like loaves and fishes and multiplies into fruit in people's lives. Let me just give you a few brief examples of the kind of impact that your partnership will make. There's a young woman who recently contacted us, and she said, my sister and I are in our 20s and teach English in a predominantly Muslim country. We've only been here a few months. We're still transitioning to life in a new culture. In moving to our new country, we've had to say goodbye to several spiritual mothers. As we seek out new community, listening regularly to the Revive Our Hearts podcast has been a blessing to us. Please know that we're listening and benefiting from the ministry on this side of the world. You help make that possible for that woman serving in that country. About this time last year, I shared a testimony from a woman named Jean. She used to counsel women to have abortions. Now this woman is walking with Jesus. She's leading a Bible study at her church. Revive Our Hearts has been a part of Jean's story, mentoring her, building into her life. Well, Jean gave a significant gift earlier this month, and she was so excited to invest back into a ministry that God had used to encourage her in her walk with the Lord. I love that. Another woman recently shared with us how the Titus 2 series that we aired this spring was such a help and encouragement. And she said, I want moms and wives to know what their true design is, what their true calling is. She said, I just bought my Revive 17 ticket and can't wait. That's our conference coming up in September. It's sold out now, but there'll be opportunities to have groups watch it by means of the live stream. She said, I want to learn how to mentor, share, and encourage others using the Titus 2 model. Well, this is just a snapshot of what Revive Our Hearts is all about. And day after day, people are getting encouragement and help and hope and restoration and redemption. Women living out the beauty of the gospel, life on life, wherever in the world God may have placed them. So I want to encourage you to keep praying with us. Many of you have been, and to ask God to provide that remaining 30% of our fiscal year-end need. And just to give you an idea, that 30% is right at $250,000. So that's what we're trusting the Lord for. That would be the hugest, is that a word? Last week of the month that we've ever had, apart from December. But God can do it. He's a big God. Our help is in Him. We're studying Psalm 121 here this week. We don't look to people or things as our provision. Ultimately, we look to God to be our provider. So pray with us. And as the Lord directs for you to be a part of that answer, you can contact us at reviveourhearts.com. Give us a call at 1-800-569-5959 and just let us know what the Lord is prompting you to do. You may have already given. Then just would you keep praying with us that the Lord will provide what is needed. I just want to say thank you so much for your partnership and for trusting the Lord with us to provide what He knows is needed to move into this year ahead. Thank you so much.